my daily conversations with salespeople, I do talk about social selling, but some of the pushback that I get is like, well, what if our audience is not on Twitter or on LinkedIn? Like, what do I do? And so obviously, like, One Mob is another, tool within the social selling umbrella. But do you have any other tips? And I also, like, just take a step back. I think it's great that you also mentioned hitting, people, your prospects through email, phone, everything. Cold calling isn't dead. Emails aren't dead. It's all about hitting them at different angles to maximize your success. But do you have any other answers to that pushback that I often get?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first off, I would agree with you. Any social influencer, expert, or trainer that is advocating the cold call is dead and is showing infographics and data points that the cold call is dead, you probably wouldn't want to buy training from them.
Okay.
And there is absolutely no sales vice president that I know of that would literally say, we're going to dump cold calling and we're going to go 100% social. If you do that, that would be the kiss of death, in my opinion. So you are right. There's a lot of folks that are out there that are saying that, and many of my peers even publish articles about how the cold call is dying and it's dead and all the good stuff. Here's what I say. I do believe that the cold call is dying, but it's not dead. And so there are stats that prove that, 90% of buyers aren't responding. That stat may or may not be true in all circumstances, but here's the reality of it. The reality of it is that as a salesperson, we need to touch our buyer in every possible way that doesn't seem like we're stalking them and or annoying. And what I will tell you is, I call it social video, but really video marketing for sales stands on its own two legs. We are leveraging that and incorporating how to leverage it within social and teaching them how to socially engage one-on-one. So social is not just one-to-many like everybody thinks. It also could be very much one-to-one. What I can tell you is that me as a sales rep, if I were to send you're my buyer, Carol, I send you a video message to prospect for, let's just say, I don't know, virtual collaboration software. If I sent you that as compared to the other guy or gal who's sending you the same exact message, talking about how wonderful and great their company is and how they can save them thousands of dollars and cutting off travel and all this stuff for virtual collaboration software, and they send a text-based email, my video message will be rememberable and will likely get a response. So that's what I would say to that. In terms of, I think you asked me about tools. Wait, what did you ask me again? I fell off the train there.
No, I think it was a great answer to what I originally asked. So I often get pushback about social selling. Yes.
Yeah, pushback. And so your next question was, so people say to me, well, my buyers aren't on social. Okay, let me ask you this question. Here's what I would say. It is entirely possible that your buyer is not on social. But let me ask you this, Carol, and you don't have to answer this, maybe a little embarrassing for you, but I do this question in all of my keynotes and all of my presentations. I ask everybody to raise their hand if they take this thing right here to the bathroom with them. And the reality is you're laughing. You don't have to admit it, but you do take this thing to the bathroom with you, along with almost every other American. 76% of all Americans in 2016 have a social network that they have set up. Now, it could be a dating site. There are over 200 different social networks that are out there, but the major ones are LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, right? And video is crazy. There's 100% year-over-year growth on YouTube for video content that has been published to YouTube. All right, so we don't have to go down from a stats perspective. So here's what I would argue, that your buyers may not be active in terms of publishing content, but they may be active in terms of active viewing of content, right? So one, it's very important that you bring them into your network and you feed them content. That's one thing. The next thing that you want to do is, if they're not active on social, great. Find the things that are of top of mind about the company, which the company likely is active, about the industry, which the industry has problems, which is the reason why you're in sales for that particular industry, because you're trying to solve a problem, or about the very specific and unique industry problem that you solve. Find content and information, and you socially engage with them either online or through one-to-one engagement. And I would argue that email is a social engagement. It's another platform by which we use to communicate. That's being social, right? Same thing with video. So find the details and the data that allows you to be able to trigger a conversation and open a conversation. And remember that just because they're not posting anything does not mean that they're not viewing things, all right? And then the other thing too is I would say as a very, very base default, one thing to keep in mind is and this is why I think Sales Navigator is so powerful. Sales Navigator has a filter that shows you in the last 30 days who has posted content on LinkedIn. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me as a salesperson that I could now figure out who actively to go after because all these other people may not be active on LinkedIn? I now have a list of people that I can go after. Like, my God, like, I mean, you don't even have to search. You click the filter and you figure out if I'm targeting, say, VPs of IT, right? You're targeting VPs of IT, VPs of marketing, VPs of whoever, CIOs, CXOs. You now can filter that list to say who has posted content in the last 30 days so that you can actually go through and engage with that. That's money right there. So at a very base minimum, what I would suggest to people is if you have no company insight that you can glean to be able to start a conversation, if you have no content that you can leverage to be able to strike a conversation on the industry problems that are taking place for your customers, and you have no content that can help solve a particular problem that you could send as a resource to a particular buyer, then, and you've engaged with them and there's no response, then pick up the darn phone, send an email, send a video. The phone is not dead. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.